So welcome back guys to a brand new video. Now today we are going to be going through the new community crunch 287 for ARK Survival Evolved. It's actually a really awesome community crunch because there's quite a bit of information, and already, as you can see before we get into the video, there is the Synonymous, the new creature coming to the Lost Island, which is really awesome. Wildcard also talk about a big patch which is coming this week with huge changes for the game, so I'm going to be going through all of that information as well as the most recent patch notes for the game. Now if you do get all the information you need to know and you do enjoy today's video, as always please make sure to press that like button. It really does support the channel so much, and make sure to be subscribed if you do not want to miss out on all of your ARK news. There's so much to come and I cannot wait. So let's get in with the Community Crunch 287, Synonymous Evo event, and more. So as you can see, they put a picture here which we can actually go into like full screen for. It looks absolutely awesome, and they put a little bit of information about the Synonymous and what's going on with that. So I'll be reading through that. I know a lot of people wanted a big carnivore to come to the Lost Island DLC, but there is actually another creature vote coming to the game, not for the Lost Island. It's going to be separately from the Lost Island, but I reckon there's a big chance that you could get a carnivore, as a lot of people did want obviously a big carnivore before. I think it was like the ARK that everyone wanted, so we'll see how that goes in the next vote. So as you can see, have you met our feisty and featherweight flyer, the Synonymous? In Community Crunch 282, we released the Synonymous dossier for the upcoming Lost Island free DLC map. Although our new friend may seem to mostly have its strengths in traversal, Synonymous brings a substantial utility for players of all types. A secondary inventory is available to players whilst it is shoulder mounted, and Synonymous packs a significant weight reduction on the items it's carrying for you. Who's ready to say hi to their new backpack buddy? So this is going to be very useful when traveling around the Ark. I also remember they said in the Community Crunch 282 that it's a very loyal creature. Once tamed, it just loves staying by your side, and it's going to be just like your buddy when you're walking around Ark, which I think is quite cool. I know a lot of people, as I mentioned earlier, weren't as happy, but I think it will be a useful dino in the game. In addition to the Synonymous, the Amargasaurus and dinopithecus will make it their way to the Lost Island later this year. Although the dinopithecus won the community vote for the Lost Island creature submission, we're looking forward to doing it again this year. What creature would you like to see added to ARK? Now, obviously, if you haven't seen my last video, what I want to mention first before the vote is a lot of people right now just asking when's the Lost Island coming, because we haven't had any news from Wildcard to tell us that this Lost Island is obviously still on track. Now, Cedric did actually, if you haven't seen my last video, he did mention on Twitter that it is planned for the end of the year. So when they said later this year, back in June, I thought that maybe it might have been this month of October, but it turns out that it's going to be the end of the year. So this Lost Island map will probably be coming out sometime in November or December. I'm going to guess it's going to be late November, early December time when this comes out, which is crazy to think because I really thought it was going to be a lot earlier. Now, as I mentioned earlier, as you can see, yeah, they're doing another creature vote. We don't know, again, when that's going to be obviously coming out or when we can do submissions for that. Hopefully, they'll let us know soon. But as mentioned, this creature won't be coming to the Lost Island. It will just be for the whole game in general. I think it will be the last one that ever gets added to ARK Survival Evolved 1. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just have a feeling that that will be the last creature before ARK 2 comes out, which is absolutely crazy because there's been 6 years of adding new creatures to this game and learning about them. And I know we're going to be doing that again with the second game, but there's just so much history with this game, and I just can't wait for next year. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So moving on from the Lost Island, the big changes, as you can see, quality of life and balance patch. Now, it's been a while since we've seen a quality of life update and even a balance patch, to be fair. And if you don't know what a quality of life and balance patch is, I mean, balance patch is pretty much what it says. It's to balance things out in the game to make sure, nothing's too overpowered or maybe to buff something. But quality of life is just to, help out the game for a bit. Let's say that there's some problems. Well, not really any problems, let's say something looks a bit weird or old in the game, Wildcard might give it a little bit of, well, bring it to life a little bit more. You know, then there's like TLCs, you know, like TLC 3 that came out when the Stego got an upgrade, and it's just a really, really cool update. And it was the Mammoth as well, wasn't it, with the other ones? So I do love a quality of life update. We plan to release a quality of life and balance patch next week on PC. A little further down the line on the road, little further down the road on console too. I don't know why I struggled to say that. So it's going to be coming this week for PC. It says next week because it was Friday when this came out. And then console, as they always do this because a lot of people say in the comments, Dom, why did console updates always late to, you know, compared to the PC? And it's just literally because they can test it and release updates a lot easier on PC. Whereas when they release an update on Xbox and PlayStation, they have to go through certification with Microsoft and Sony, and they just take a lot longer at checking things. So that's why Wildcard do a lot of the tests first on PC, and then if it's all good, then they could submit it to console. This patch would include various of quality of life additions along with some important balance changes, mainly aimed at PvP. One of the key aspects we looked at regards to balance is the prevalence of chain stuns / crowd control in the current PvP meta. Most specifically, Void Wyvern and Shadowmane and Netgun and Plant Z. We've also made balance tweaks to various creatures and items that we will think make PvP more fun and interesting. This patch also includes 2 newly breedable creatures. We plan to do some more currently unbreedable creatures and making them breedable in the future, so stay posted if your favorite isn't included in this one. That is absolutely awesome. I didn't think, one thing I find with, you know, the release of ARK 2 and ARK 1, and that's a bit strange, is that they're doing so much at the moment for this game, like releasing new creatures, like these balance and quality of life patches, making creatures breedable that haven't been breedable before, all right at the end of ARK. Now, I'm not saying that ARK 1 is nearly over because there's still so much that's going to be released, and ARK 2 is just still planned for 2022. I'm sure it'll be later in there, but so many times back in the past, maybe like 2019 and stuff like that, all of these different types of updates would have just worked so much better then. I mean, I'm glad it's happening now. I'm so glad they're keeping the game alive and bringing everyone the content. But I find it so crazy how they're really stepping up, like, you know, stepping up to the plate and releasing all this awesome stuff to when, you know, ARK 2 is meant to be out next year. But yeah, no, big shout out to Wildcard to doing that. And let me know what you think is going to become breedable. I've heard that maybe a rock drake, the rock drake might be becoming breedable. So that's interesting to hear. But let me know which ones in the comment section down below you want to become breedable that isn't currently breedable in ARK Survival Evolved. So last but not least, we're kicking this weekend off. Obviously, there was a breeding Evo event and some amazing community art. This did finish, well, this does finish tomorrow. As you can see, it's ~2 breeding and imprinting, ~2 taming, ~2 harvesting, and ~2 XP. I'm just gonna have to have some water quickly. That will stop there just because of my cough. So this will be finishing tomorrow. It's usually like later on a Monday. And then there's a community corner here. So there is actually an awesome series going on by a lot of ARK YouTubers. I'm not actually involved with this myself, but it is called Monarchy, if you want to go check it out. And then there is the Axeman. I'm actually a big fan of his channel. There is a new Titan map out, and I've done a video myself on the Titan map. And I really, really enjoyed making this video. But the Axeman's done one as well. So if you want to check out my one, you can. Or if you want to check out the Axeman's one, you can do that as well. So fan art, as you can see, we've got an Uranus here. You've got some other really cool designs. I've always mentioned in the videos that I love this fan art. We've got a Manticore there, which is the Scorched Earth Guardian. A Shadowmane. You've got a Bulb Dog there. And then you've got some in-game screenshots, as always. They're really, really cool. I think definitely this one for me is my favourite. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. I always like seeing some of the comments to see what people said. But yeah, no, that's an awesome community crunch. And the reason why is just because there hasn't been that much information recently, and they've kind of been a bit quiet with, you know, where they're taking the game, and that's been the frustrating thing about it. You know, we've been wanting to see so much in ARK and like hear more about where the Lost Island is, hear more about what's happening, and they've been quite quiet. But at least we've got a little bit of an understanding of what's coming up next. We're just waiting now to hear that Lost Island release that I cannot wait for the day that I can just finally say to you guys, the Lost Island release date is here. But anyway, I'll be doing that very soon, hopefully. So the most recent patch notes that have come out, there hasn't really been much, so the next big one will most likely be this balance patch this week, which I'll let you know when this does go live. So you've got additional server, additional official server login / debugging information, and they fixed an exploit. Temporarily prevented the Noglin from gaining torpidity. Now, I think this is available, not available, but this is actually on console as well. I need some more water. It's not being very nice to me, my throat today. And as you can see, they've just fixed exploits. I'll read through the console ones afterwards. And there was an update where they fixed multiple exploits here, fixed the bug when pressing spacebar to bring up the camera list. Bring up the camera list would shrink the UI each time. Why am I struggling so much today? It's because I'm not very well. Anyway, fix the bug where weapons on the loadout mannequin would equip to feet. Fix some typos in text strings. Fixed server versioning, tech security console cameras are now able to be unlinked remotely, fixed servers not showing up when attempted to transfer between servers on Stadia, and adjusted default Stadia video settings to support increased view distance and better texture quality. The following settings can also be adjusted in the options post-processing and view distance. So, that is all of that, and then console is pretty much the same. They temporarily prevented the Noglin from gaining torpidity, and that's still obviously a thing that was live. They fixed the bug which prevented players from teleporting to the Genesis Part 1 boss fight and fixed the server crash. They fixed exploits, and then the one before that was the refactored tech-dedicated storage update that went live a few weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and PlayStation exactly the same. So that is the full update, as you guys can see there, and there is so much coming your way. Let me know what you're most excited for. Let me know what you want to come breedable in ARK Survival Evolved. Thank you very much for watching. See you in my next video. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys soon.